Hello there everybody. I promised a little video of the instrument I've got in my house and the organs I've been sort of working with. I'm doing this off my trusty iPhone, so I'll pick it up and move it about so hopefully you can see everything. I was fortunate to inherit this two-manual Wyvern organ from my father on his passing. He went and bought this somewhere in organ dealers in Surrey. He bought it in 2006 and it really does make and play nicely. Things that us organists want, we call pistons, whereby we can control the stops. Two manuals. And what we call general pistons, which control the whole organ. So it's got all the facilities. Flip of a button, we can go to nothing. So it's a Wyvern instrument, and of course technology has moved on. It plays well. I'm just going to pick up the camera here a minute. Sorry hope I don't make you seasick. Now there is a program which you can use with the computer, and it's called Hauptwerk, German for head. And in actual fact, German organs, the great division, which is this division here, is often called the headwork. It's the most powerful division. And you load the program onto your computer. I'm going to start it up. And Hauptwerk is a series of sampled organs or sample pipes. I'm going to load up the organ I'm most fond of, or Freisack. It'll take a minute or two to load up. And what happens is every pipe on the organ is sampled. So each note is recorded one after the other. So, and then all those samples are put together, so you have a sound for each pipe, and they are loaded together and put on board the computer. And then the computer can call up the instrument. And here is the Freisack organ. There it is in all its glory. I'll get as close as I can. There are some horizontal pipes there. They are the trumpet en chamade there. And the organ is, I haven't been in the church, but it appears to be at the west end of the church. So there is nothing to impede its progress of sound down the nave. So it's the opposite way round to Truro Methodist, and ours goes across to the front of the congregation. This one, you get it in the back of your head. Oops. I'll try and hold this as steady as I can. And if I change the picture, this is, as Carlo Curley liked to describe it, the flight deck with all the stops. It's a very comprehensive specification. On the side here are what we call the couplers, which link the manuals together, and then we have the stops for the pedal division, a 32-foot and a 32-foot pedal reed. So that's what the organ would sound like in the pedal stops in the church, if you like. There's a whole range, so there's a whole lot of stops for the Hauptwerk, the great organ, not to be confused with Hauptwerk, the computer program. And you've got a 16-foot and an 8-foot. And you may wonder how they are coming on. So I haven't got a touch sensitive screen, but I've got something called a touchpad, whereby if I press a button it operates a stop. And I've got these set up and color coded, so anything in red is a reed and likely to make quite a bit of noise. For example, whoops, if I press that one, sorry, let's just do that again. In fact, I'll press that one, which is slightly noisier. You can see as I press it, it says TRMP HARM, trumpet harmonic. Let's turn the Wyvern off a minute. So I've color coded the reeds in red, that big trumpet chamade on chamade, that's come on, and that is very carefully, you can see and similarly with the pedal board, as I play the pedal notes, they light up and are going down. And the stops, which are in the swell box, there is a swell pedal. It's difficult to see that moving, isn't it? But it does. So swell box open, swell box closed. So there are our stops. So they are all being controlled from this multicoloured pad down here. The green one turns everything off, and you may be able to hear the stops going on and off. So I'm pressing the green one and the stops all go off. I'll put a load of stops on and off. And then, so that we control the organ easily, this is not the easiest way of doing it. Normally if you're sitting at the console, if I was sitting at this organ, I would be able to reach my left hand out and grab the stops for the Hauptwerk, the middle manual, and the pedal and the couplers, and then I could use either my left hand or the right hand for the solo stops or the Hauptwerk. But I have to compromise and use this touchpad. So there are things called general pistons, which mean that by touching one button I can get a selection of stops. I'll turn them off, I'll press the first button, and this is a nice quiet gentle little sound. It's what we call the swell celestes. Voix celeste and a viola. And if I go to the lower keyboard, I've got the gamba on there. Back up to the swell. So you can see I put a chord down. Bottom keyboard, top keyboard. So as I go on up through, I get various combinations. So that's the quietest. It's sort of a sort of English way of setting things up, if you like. As the numbers go up, the whole thing gets louder. So with one hand, a foot, I'll build it up. So that was number one. Number two. Hands going down onto the grate. I'm going to select a new combination, 3, which is a little bit louder. The great principle, or in English, or what we call diapason, real organ sound. I've added the principle and the 4-foot on the swell. So we got one level further, adds the 2-foot and the 4-foot on the grate. A little bit more. I've added the small swell reed, a hautbois or an oboe. Levels or piston 6. Starting to add the higher pitch mixture stops to give brightness. Swell. Another level. Go up to 10, that adds the high pitch mixture on the grate and the trumpet. And then we've got a few left. We've got a 32-foot. a sawn on the pedal, which really does make its presence felt. Here it is without and with. And a 32 foot, so you'll soon hear when that comes on. You'll hear it when it comes on. My iPhone will probably struggle with the frequencies because they are very low. I might just swap hands. So we have a really full sound. And we've still got left that horizontal trumpet on the top keyboard. Now, because I've only got 2 keyboards, making that work means I have to couple that to another keyboard. So I've added the stop, and then I will add the 3rd keyboard to the 2nd keyboard, which is my top keyboard. Add the whole lot together. I might just swap my hands. And we can turn everything off again by pressing the green button, and it all goes off. So none of the sounds of the Wyvern are being used at this moment in time, and I think you can probably appreciate there is quite a difference in the sound. Let's put a little bit more reverb. So I'm delighted with this. I'm even more delighted because it comes as the guy who's put the sample set together has made it freely available. This is a free sample set. Please donate if you like. So this is great. I've only scratched the possibilities of what you can do with it. It's got some rather interesting sounds. Let me just do this a minute. Something called a cornet. Nothing to do with cornets in brass bands or ice creams or anything like that. So that's the pedal board. Which is a sound great to conjure up. It's also got something called an English horn, or cor anglais, I suppose. So it's quite a box of tricks. It is not quite like playing the real thing. It doesn't shake the building. I should say the sound is coming from the Wyvern speakers. The Wyvern's got a pretty good amplification system, and it can handle the sounds that this is putting out. 32 foot. Quite like TMC, which actually shakes the floor. Per sawn. We haven't got one of those, and I don't suppose we ever will. We've got a 32 foot. Saying that, it's electronic at Truro Methodist. The one compromise we made to crossing the divide between pipe and electronic. So there we are. So perhaps if I put my camera back over here, I perhaps will just sort of play you a little piece. It's an improvisation. You're going to recognise the tune. It's by a chap called Gert van Hoof. Wonderful young German organist, and I'll give you some kind of idea. I hope that's helped explain a little bit more as to how this all works. So the Wyvern organ here is actually silent, but it transmits a signal via MIDI, musical instrument digital interface. It transmits a signal from its keys and its pedals and its swell pedal down here, which moves. Let's put my foot in the right place. The Wyvern has a built-in coupler system, piston setting, and I've not been able to disable those so that they would actually control the pistons up here, but never mind, we can work around that. Every organ's different, and the colour coding here helps me to select the stops as I go along. So here we go. So I'll just reposition this, and then I'll play you this little improvisation which Gert has done. I feel sure, excuse the untidy house, but so I'll put that there. Hopefully you can see what's going on. Won't get quite such a good view, but you'll get the sound of the instrument. And I'll probably work up through those stages with pistons, and I might do some hand registering and still go for the stops and add stops by hand. You know, you can do everything at a touch of a button, but there are times when you can still go for a stop. a slightly off the cuff performance in the wrong shoes, in that you generally wear a pair of shoes which don't squeak on the notes, so it's not dry joints or things, it's the squeaks on the notes. Stupidly I didn't put my organ playing shoes on or put the light in the right place so I can actually read the note. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea. So you can have this organ. I could actually change it and have let's view organ, let's load another organ. So we've got a Brindley and Foster organ from Liverpool. We've got a Brindley and Foster organ in Truro Methodist, and it makes a splendid sound. It's one of the best organs in the Methodist connection. Well, of course I'm somewhat biased, but so this is a Brindley and Foster. It's just loading up. There we are, and I can just change this. If I press this button, I've got it programmed up. So what's happened there? There we go. I haven't got those programmed up. I haven't done all the programming, but once again, as I've set up another computer this week, don't forget to press that, Phil. Everything's in a slightly different place. You have to remember. Right, that's better. You have to remember where everything is. Much like any organ you go to, it works in exactly the same way. I can add stops to it's the swell department's over here. Nice sort of diapason, and there. Great stops are over here. Let's get rid of all that noise on the swell. A bit more. I've gone the right manual. 8 4-foot principles. Add the 15th, the mixture, and so on. The rest of the swell, and the rest of the grate. Once again, press the green button, turn everything off. Works in exactly the same way. Swell pedal moving, keys moving, yes. So you can see all that. So not only can you have St Anne's Moseley in your front room or Frysack, but you can have Hereford Cathedral, Salisbury Cathedral, Peterborough Cathedral if you so desire, and save up your pennies to get the sample sets. These, the St Anne's Moseley comes free with the programme. The Frysack one, or Freesack, or however you pronounce it, is also free, and there's lots of other free ones as well, so it's great trying them out before launching in and spending. And plus I've only got 2 manuals, and both Peterborough, Hereford and Salisbury have got 4 manuals, but we can work around that. Anyway, well, I hope that gives you a little insight as to how it all works. So it's all driven from this computer here, which I've actually sorted out this week. So it's all been a bit trial and error, but there we go. A lovely little clarinet. And some lovely celestes, they beat together beautifully. So expect to see some pieces recorded, and of course it will record everything I play, wrong notes and all, and then I can just play it back at any time. And there we go. So I hope that gives you a little bit more insight as to what you're hearing if you come to the hymn sessions or on Sunday mornings when I post a voluntary. So there we go. All the best for now. Bye.